So I'm on a monster kick. The last book that I had read was The Paleontologist, so I had dinosaurs and things. And now I just finished The Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. Interesting enough, both creature features, but The Paleontologist took place at like the start of the pandemic, and this one also takes place like right as the pandemic is hitting and everything. Kind of interesting how that works out. There's definitely some humor about that baked into this, just the absurdity of everything. So if you don't want spoilers, you should probably skip to the end. This was a good book. There you go. So this follows our main character, Jamie. Jamie works at this delivery food tech startup type thing. And at the start of the pandemic, he's like, hey, you know, we got all these deliveries and food. We got these competitors like Uber Eats and DoorDash and everything, and we need to compete with them. So I have all these plans where we can do better. And then the CEO is like, yeah, that's great. And then fires him. Steals his ideas and fires him. Well, fires him, then steals the ideas. So while he is now being a DoorDash delivery type person, he ends up knocking on this door, and the guy's like, hey, I actually know you. You're a friend of, friend of a friend, blah, blah, blah. And then they have this witty ass banter back because this book is so full of millennial humor. Well, millennial Gen X, just, that snarky ass, sarcastic type humor, which I absolutely identify with. My second language is sarcasm. Anyway, so he's talking to his friend of a friend, Tom. Tom says, well, I have a job offer for you, and hands him this card that says KPS. And he says, well, I work for a company, being very big, that deals with large animals. And Jamie's kind of like, sure, why the hell not? This job sucks. So he goes and interviews and goes through everything. Mind you, Jamie has a master's in literature, and he's doing the interview, and the lady's like, so you like science fiction? He's like, yeah. Wrote a dissertation on like a snow crash or something like that. And so she hands him the job. She's like, yeah, great. So by the way, we're the Kaiju Preservation Society. And he's like, oh. So anyway, he accepts the job and everything. He has to get all these vaccines because part of the whole thing is that he's being paid to go to the Kaiju world where the Kaiju live. Instead of like, Pacific Rim where there's a rift and they come over here, they can't do that. But they primarily live in the Kaiju world. It's science fiction, so there is some science baked into the fiction. And skipping forward a bit. So he's a newbie, and he ends up linking up with 3 other newbies. The other 3 are actual scientists. One's a biologist, one's a chemist, and one's a physicist. And they go to this base. It's up in, I don't know, the Arctic or some damn thing, and he comes through this gate, blah, whatever. They're in the Kaiju world now, and they're just stand there, and then a Kaiju walks by, and they're just like, so Jamie here, he is a lifter. He lifts things. Basically, he works at the base, and he is just transporting stuff to the different science labs, helping out wherever need be. He's just kind of a background person. He's not doing science or anything, but he links up with one of the pilots. They fly in helicopters and stuff, and they take some of the scientists out. There's a kaiju. They have to get these kaiju to mate with each other. It's very, very silly. They named them after Twilight characters, Edward and Bella. And they make sure to explain how absolutely absurd that is. There's a lot of pop culture references in this, so that's really fun too. If you're into that sort of thing, like it's like real life. This exists in this time. So Edward and Bella, they have to get diggy with it. And Bella ends up laying some eggs. There's the whole science study of what happens, like, there's kaiju eggs, and kaiju biology is interesting. It's not like they just lay some eggs. They lay eggs, and then a couple weeks later they lay a bunch more eggs, and then they lay even more eggs. All the kaiju have something called parasites on them, which are like these giant other creatures that help feed the kaiju, it's the craziest, it's the craziest biology of a creature they come up with. They have essentially evolved to have a nuclear reactor within them. Godzilla, like, Mah, and that sort of thing. It's pretty neat. So they're at the base doing all the science things that they're supposed to do, fun stuff, and they have to answer to their funders, basically. There's all the different governments in the world that are part of it, and I don't think every single one is, but the people that are high enough up in the need to know are part of this. And there's a bunch of funding from a bunch of billionaires, as you can expect. Once in a while, they have to play tourist liaison. Jamie has to go take these tourists for the first round of tourists. One is a tech billionaire, and two work for the government. One's like a colonel or something. That billionaire ends up being the billionaire from the tech startup he worked at the start of the pandemic, who fired him and stole all his ideas. So he's like, full circle here. Wow. It's actually kind of funny. The tech billionaire, obviously they have ulterior motives. And he came over, his dumbass thought he could bribe them in the helicopter to land at the Kaiju site where the eggs are hatched. He actually thought he could bribe them. The pilot of the helicopter was very much like, listen here. No. Also no. And you will never set foot on this side ever again. Like that pilot was like laying down the law. It was great. It was really great. So then it's like the next day, and Jamie takes Mr. Billionaire out for a little jaunt on the forest floor. Everything's kind of like tropical, foresty, whatnot. I should mention that the research base is up in the trees because the forest floor is deemed super dangerous. So Jamie decides, I'm going to take this billionaire asshole onto the forest floor and teach him a lesson. And he does. There's like these giant like tree spider coconut crab things that are super huge, and they will swarm and try to attack you. They have like, they spit out acid or something very strange. So it's like, oh, they're almost like coconut crabs here, but bigger and acid spitters. I don't know, it's bizarre. Apparently the tech billionaire wanted to land at the Kaiju egg birthing site because he wanted to take samples of it. Oh my god. So Jamie was basically like taught him a lesson and kind of had some coconut crabs attack him, and just to scare him a little bit, like set him straight. Obviously not going to work. Here's our protagonist. Tom, who is the person who gave Jamie this job, is his superior and makes mention of how the tourists come over, and he said, well, a certain president and his two grown adult sons wanted to come over and hunt kaiju. And Jamie's like, you should have let them, because obviously they're going to die. And I'll give you one guess as to who that president and his adult sons were. That kind of pops up in this book. Kind of funny. This author's really funny. He doesn't like them. Totally different story. At one point, after all the tourists go away, they have to go, Jamie and the three newbies and the pilot go to the kaiju, Bella. Bella from Twilight, Edward and Bella. So they go and have to set up some new equipment for Bella to monitor what's happening and everything, cameras and whatever other sensors that are happening there. And one of the people in the party like trips and falls or something, and one of the creatures that was like scavenging amongst the eggs and the egg goo lunges at him and tries to attack him. And then so one of the other people go running over. She has this stun baton thing and like beating the shit out of it, and they save the guy. He's got like some bite marks and stuff on him, but otherwise he's pretty much fine. They go back to the base and they're just a little bit shaken because you just got attacked by a big creature of some sort that wanted to eat you. There's a really funny line where they're back on the base and they're like, God, I need a drink. And the other person's like, hey, I need several. And he says, to hell with that. After today's adventures, I'm gonna get smashed to wear a fucking lampshade as a hat. Girl, I identify with that. That, absolutely. Fully support your lampshade as a hat. People on the base also like to party, which is pretty funny. The whole base dynamic is really funny. I like these people. Oh, also, the base is run in shifts where people come for 6 months and then they have 3 months off. They come back for 6 months. So there's 3 teams and they have like 3-month overlaps as they rotate out, which is kind of cool. So there's constantly some new people, same people and everything. After setting up all the equipment, this is kind of where shit starts to hit the fan. And the way that one of the other crews, Tom, his superior, Jamie's superior in this, goes with some of the other scientists to change out equipment because it only lasts for so long, and nobody hears back from them. They're like, what's happening? So Jamie and the others have to go out there and see what the hell happened, and the equipment is smashed. The hard drives in the equipment is removed, so they're like, yeah, that's not normal. They end up find a phone recording video, and come to find out, like, someone had breached through the human world, our world, and came over, killed all the science team, smashed everything, took the hard drives, and Bella and her eggs, they got her to the human side. Now, mind you, these kaiju can't survive in our world. They will die. It's not warm enough. The atmosphere is not right. They can't survive in our world. Problem is that they have evolved to have nuclear reactors in their body, and that's what powers them. So when they're starting to die, they blow up like a nuclear reactor. They go kaboom. So guess who's behind stealing the kaiju and her eggs? Stupid ass tech billionaire guy. Nailed it. So Jamie and the other 3 newbies figure out, getting to the other side to go rescue the kaiju, basically to bring her over here because they're the Kaiju Preservation Society. They're supposed to help preserve the kaiju, well, and also preserve the human world because you don't want her blowing up. So they go over to the human world. They find the base where Bella, the kaiju, and her eggs are being held. It is swarming with some science people, a bunch of mercenaries, and the tech billionaire asshole. The kaiju, the KPS, has been developing different sort of pheromones. They've been developing pheromones. They have a pheromone that's basically like, hey, go attack. They have a pheromone that's like, stay away. They have a pheromone that for love making. And so they go over to the other side. They spray themselves down with the pheromone that says, stay away from me. And they go to the base. They run into Mr. Tech Billionaire asshole. They get captured, blah, that whole shindig. They basically trick him into releasing a pheromone that says, attack everything. And all these parasites start falling off the kaiju and attacking everybody on the base. But remember, Jamie and the other 3 scientists are covered in the pheromone that says, stay away from me. Basically, a shield around them. So they figure out how to get Bella back to the other side. They save her. It's a very happy ending. They have drinks. Everybody celebrates. The base apparently takes like a day off and creates a little holiday saying like, you saved our asses. You saved everybody's asses. Yay! Everybody gets like funny little medals. It's very cute and funny and just full of, oh my god, absolute silliness. Obviously, there's a mourning period for some of the people that died because everybody's very close-knit. There's like 90 or 100 people on the base or something. It's not a lot of people. But it's pretty cool. The ending was very satisfying. Mr. Tech Billionaire died, obviously, with a bunch of other people, and he got in a lot of trouble. His whole family business were like shunned and they're under investigation. Super satisfying. I really hope this author comes out with more stuff like this. This is the only book that I've read by him, and apparently a lot of his stuff is like this, I've been told. I'm very excited to read more. He was a funny afterward, just talking about his writing process, going through COVID and everything that went into this. It's a very, very funny person. Very funny person. The people in this are really funny. Everything's funny. I was literally I like to read while I'm on the treadmill at the gym. And I'm on the treadmill trying not to laugh my ass off. Echoing in the whole gym just because it was really, really funny. I definitely recommend it if you want a fun creature feature. And instead of like the doom and gloom, very dark creature feature, this is the shit's happening, but it'd be wild. Like, this is just chaos and snarky funny banter between newfound science friends, and it's a good time. Definitely recommend. I'm gonna give this, I wish it was longer and a little bit more detailed, but if you want just like a shorter 250 pages, that's pretty great. A shorter quick read that just it satisfies that quench for wanting a creature feature and some comedy. Absolutely. This is your jam. This is your jam. It is my jam. And I'm going to continue on the creature feature. I got 3 more creature features lined up. So if you read this book, tell me if you enjoyed it. If you have not, you should pick it up. And if you have any other creature features that I should read, let me know. 4.5 out of 5. Enjoy.